Okay, we have returned. Ready to go. Took a little longer, so I decided to toast up a bagel instead of just grab a bowl of cereal for breakfast. Alright, let's see. So what we're working on today, some Onderonian stuff. Ooh, excuse me. This is fine. What? Whoa. That was a early texturing test. Hot damn, does that look like garbage. Put that over here. Pardon the sound. Well, I think I'll do like a I'm thinking about the Onderon space station and what I'm going to do for that. I'm thinking oh, fuck you, 3DS. Why is perspective giving me trouble all of a sudden? What happens if I reset the X-form on everything? Yeah, figured. And convert everything to an editable poly. Let me try to figure this out real quick. where is... Is it there and I just missed it? Well. No, that's not it. Highlights, that's that. Cursor skylight, shadows, ambient occlusion, this is all just rendering stuff. It's not viewport clipping. We've experimented with that before. Apply a new material. Old one is corrupt. Can't be that simple. It is not that simple. Okay. Well, I lost my material. That's fine. Z buffer precision issue. Mesh isn't saying nothing's grouped. Alright, let's have a look here. Let's make a box. One suggestion is make a measurement. It's 17 meters. That's reasonable, right? Utilities, measure. $18 meters. I mean, that's like a reasonable model size. You know, that could be like a truck or something. So it's not like an insanely big or insanely small model relative to the unit setup. Does he have a picture? He has a video. Let me see the video. Uh-huh. Doesn't exist. Great. What the fuck? Okay. So the field of view fixes it for this other guy. Hold on. What's my orthographic field of view? It doesn't have one because it's orthographic, right? Like, let's try this. Oh, okay. So maybe we need to do something like this. But why would the field of view... Let me fire up a default. Like, that kind of helps. Well, it's like, no, the farther away my camera zooms... Yes, it definitely has an effect. But it doesn't fix the problem. So, like, what's the default field of view? 45? What the fuck? So that does actually fix it when it's at the 45. Okay. So why was my field of view so weird? Alright, does it, like, stay that way if I bring this in? Merge. Ah. Okay. Very interesting things we're learning. It's a field of view problem. So how does the field of view change? Because I've never changed it. So why would it change? Well, in any case, I guess it's not a huge issue. I mean... it's super irritating. It's just a field of view thing. Okay. Which explains why it gets fixed when I drag it into... I suppose I should do my job. Juminator. Okay. I think we'll give it 3 textures. I need my textual density tool back. So I'm thinking for the Onderonian starbase, also if it's a square, well, if it's based on a rectangle and not asymmetrical, it'll be really easy to divide up into multiple parts for textile density concerns. Oh hey there, how's it going? Just getting started. I just fixed an issue that's been plaguing me for months, so I'm happy about that. And now I'm just getting started on the actual modeling for today. I just had an idea for what I'm going to do for the Onderonian starbase, which I'll divide up into 5 levels, so it's convenient for Stellaris. That also works for Empire War as well, so I might as well. But I'm going to do like a... actually, it's going to look a little bit like Onderonian buildings, kind of a Babylonian, Mesopotamian style structure. Where I'm not sure if I'm going to do a symmetrical section on the bottom, but something like this, where there will be a bunch of details and stuff on the top, and then like a docking section thing coming off the bottom here that comes out, and then maybe it'll get mirrored in some way on the z-axis as well. Not sure yet, though. It's just a really, really rough idea. Will they add the remake? Probably not. The remake has no need for any Onderonian ships. It's possible, but it would be more of a someone from the remake team thinks they're neat and wants them added in, rather than an actual need for them. If that makes the sense. And so then there'd be like a docking section here. I'll probably divide everything into quadrants and then do a texture for each quadrant. I think that'd be easiest. Really roughing it out here. I want this to be on the X and Y. Okay. I need my greebles too. Bring me my files. Master greeble file. Merge that sucker in. Yeah. Bring me the greebles. Stellaris, God, Stellaris has a lot of ships, doesn't it? How many ships do you need? Like, we got what? We got corvettes, we got destroyers, cruisers, battleships, titans, colossi, colony ship, transport ship, exploration ship, mining station, research station, main starbase, defense platform, Colossus isn't needed. Okay. Oh, Titan. Right, Titan. And what about the big giant thing that came out in the recent DLC that I don't have? The Leviathan or whatever they call it. Juggernaut. Okay, that's a lot of stuff. Sure, some of them can be doubled up on, right? Like the transport and the colony ship, that can be the same thing. Of course, mining and research stations are easy to do. I just make like a small iteration on the main starbase. They shouldn't be a problem to do. They're just in there as well. Corvette, destroyer, cruiser, battleship. Right. Those are the things most everyone's going to be using in every playthrough anyway. That and a starbase. It's like after the start of the game, I don't think anyone ever looks at their science ship or anything else. For that matter. But I'll get my concept artist to whip up a whole bunch of stuff. A whole array of things. And we can look at them and see if there's anything we want to use for any specific class of ship. Oops, that's not all the buttons I want. There we go. Sure, there's a hotkey somewhere for rotating 90 degrees without having to actually rotate it. Anyway, something sort of kind of in this genre for the Starbase is what my initial thought is. I mean, you know, plus like hours of actual work to make it look badass and detailed and whatever, and big. And then different levels. Okay, anyway, I'm going to move that off to the side for the moment, because what we're working on today what I was going to work on today was redoing the textures, the UV mapping and the textures for both the frigates, because these were some of the first ships that I textured and did the whole UV mapping texture pipeline on with Substance Painter and all that stuff, and they turned out okay, but since then I've done many dozens of ships, and I'm unhappy with the quality of that work, so I was going to go in and redo these. As well as the gunship, because I think it's awful. And then also finish optimizing this. I need to figure out why my texel density tool doesn't work. Like, look at this bullshit. So normally you should be able to take any of these tools and like drag them up onto your toolbar so you can use them, but ever since I reinstalled 3ds Max, I can't actually customize my UI, which means I can't access my tools. And so far, no one on the 3ds Max Discord or the Google Internet searches have yielded any sort of results. All the suggested fixes don't actually fix it. And I'm not sure why I can't customize my UI anymore, or how to access my tools without them actually being a button that I can click. So that's kind of an issue that I have to fix before I start the UV process, because I need to divide these bigger ships up into multiple pieces, and the texel density needs to be the same for the UV maps on each one, or on each section. So yep, Onderon fleet, it's happening. We're gonna boost them up from just a couple of ships to a whole array of things, so it's actually like functional. Converted from a Prime Gaming sub to a Tier 1 sub. Subscribe for 2 months. Well, thank you. I do appreciate it. It keeps the dream alive. And hopefully we'll get some good work done. That's the plan for all week, is Onderon. Just full go Onderon all week, see how much we can get done. I doubt I can get a whole fleet like textured and ready to go. I don't know, when's the update? The Onderon special update. Because the release is in, what, a couple weeks? Something like that, a week or two. And then the Onderons are going to come in the next update after that. Assuming, I guess, if things are ready. Because I can just keep doing Onderon stuff as well. Beyond this week, if there's time. Oh, this needs to go here. There we go. 1 to 2 months later? Oh, okay. Then we should have plenty of time to get ourselves a healthy fleet built. I mean, we already have 4 ships sort of done. The station will probably take a little while because it's a big giant thing. But should be enough time to get a whole big actual fleet constructed.
What is it to you? A feast or a famine, a nail or a screw, a dew from the south, a fire which is blue.
Thank you for the gift. Went to a good community member too, very good. Nin player's been with us since nearly the beginning. Those even? Sometimes I should probably do these one at a time. Never know if I actually did things in the most sloppy way possible. We don't have a lot of Onderonian example ships, at least not that I know of. I'm mostly working off of one panel from Tales of the Jedi, which I think is in here. Let me see if this will tell me. 2 page 70. Okay, wrong one. But if you're aware of other Onderon ships, do let me know, because these are the only ones I know of. And they're not even necessarily Onderonian ships. They're just seen in a spaceport on the planet, I think, which are these here. So these are what I based the 2 frigates off of, and then there's this thing, which is what I'm tinkering with now. I don't know if that's a ship or not in the back. Hard to say. It probably is because of the context, but there's not much to it other than it's got a big giant tower. And then we get this close-up on this thing, which I think is this as well, but it's not. It's a different thing. It's got like this side strut that sticks off, and this doesn't have that, but you know, it's a comic book, so every time they depict something, even if it's the same thing, it looks drastically different. But anyway, this is like all I have to work off of. So I don't know if there's any Onderon stuff that exists out there that you want to see. I'm glad we do it. Any Onderon secret weapon? Or anything like that? I don't think so. At least not from the Tales of the Jedi or KOTOR. I mean, they had... Oh, my thing crashed. Never mind. Guess we aren't looking at that anymore. Access violation, very good. That's what I like to see. Yeah, not that I'm aware of. Although I'll reread the Onderon stuff from the comics and see if there's any kind of unique weapons mentioned or plans. But at least in this era, Onderon is a pretty freshly established colony, so they don't really have a lot of stuff. There's the big city, and then you've got the Beast Riders who come in from Duxon, amongst other places, and harass them, and that's kind of the Onderon that we get, the Onderonian info. Thank you for the follow, Tap Dancing Ninja. How would that work? Does he just go through the motions of tap dancing, but there's no sound? It's a visual performance.
Where the warm winds blow, there's spices and charms, and the silver mine that could use strong arms.
I could see that, tap dancing in stealth being a really esoteric, rich person experience. Like those fancy restaurants where they serve you a minuscule amount of food.
The dust did blow, say way-o. The dust did blow. They marched down that road.
Where's my thing? Is it here? Yes.
Just like their elders when the wages were fine. Stilton's long gone, and so is his grace. Now ain't no one happy in this miserable place.
Say way-o, the silvery glows. Say way-o, the silvery glows.
Down underground it's dark and it's cold.
Don't get no breaks, they do as they're told.
Oh, I
Dust crews get out on their hands and knees to do anything that angry foreman please. Say way-o, the dust did blow. Say way-o,
The silvery glows.
but the foreman he's under the Duke's greedy thumb, making them miners work.
Yeah, I'll give him a reread and
Silver
see. It also depends, I guess. Well, all right. So in KOTOR they have the attempted rebellion, right?
And up in that palace where that green
So you could do something with
riches and treasures
either the loyalists or the separatists having something a little more spicy. We don't really know much about either of the factions, at least in KOTOR. So I don't know. You could have an event. When's LOTOR take place relative to KOTOR? Is it before or after or during?
when the miners come back with pittance for pay, makes you wonder why they get up the next day. Say way-o, the dust did blow. Say way-o, the silver it glows. Say way-o, the dust did blow. Say way-o, the silver it glows.
What the fuck? Oh, that's why. Before, after, and during. Right, okay.
Oh, brother, been 63 days. The water's been choppy, the whale she sways. Can't keep no food down, can't find no sleep, 'cause 'cause the night is too dark and the water's too deep. 'Twas summer, I boarded this old ship.
Big ass ship. Yes. So I made this to be a heavy cruiser, so fairly large. And that it's also fairly big for what it is. It's definitely a step between cruisers and battleships, in terms of how I've scaled it relative to everything else that I've done. Lore-wise, I've denoted it as being a colony ship that was converted into a war vessel. Since Onderon is recently a colony, my assumption is that they don't have a lot of military production, dockyards, and stuff set up yet. So converting colony ships into war vessels seems reasonable. Stellaris has changed. Oh, it certainly has. It's very... I haven't played vanilla since it was the original version, but yeah, it's very different than when it started out. Stellaris for me is a very love-hate thing. I rage uninstalled it last night, and I'll probably be playing it again in a month. It's a game I want to love. I have about 750 hours in it, and I don't know if I enjoyed any one of those hours. I mean, that's a lie. I did, certainly. There were many enjoyable hours, but I keep playing it, and I keep uninstalling it. The cycle just repeats over and over. Might be the only ones with an Onderon ship set? Probably. I don't think I've ever seen any Onderon ships. Ever. In anything. I don't know, maybe they have stuff in Tor? Because Onderon's a planet in Tor. I'm pretty sure. So they might have stuff littered around as props and things, but... Or like maybe as a cutscene when you come there. But as far as like buildable, playable units in a game, not that I'm aware of. Different good or different bad? I would say that the improvements, well, the changes they've made have probably likely been improvements overall. They've changed a lot of stuff, a lot of fundamental game mechanics, such as like how races travel in hyperspace. In Stellaris 1.0, when you're creating your species, you used to have like 3 or 4 different options for how you did FTL. Like you could do the traditional hyperspace from one planet to the other, or you could build like gateway stations, so your ships would go to the station and then they could like teleport anywhere within the station's range. And then there was like a couple of other ones. Oh, okay, so there's one that was restricted to the hyperspace lanes, which is what we have now as default, where the planets have like random connections and you can only go from planet to planet on the connections. Then they had one which you could go from any planet to any planet that was like adjacent, or within your like your hyperspace range, but it was very slow in comparison, but more strategically flexible. And then you had the gateway stations that could jump you longer distances, but you had to build them to move out farther. And now they got rid of all that, and now you only can do the default like hyperspace down the lanes to connected planets. And then there's like some technology you can get later on that allows you to jump kind of wherever you want. So lots of big changes like that to how the game plays. But there's still some big problems with it that they haven't ever addressed that kind of bother me. Like, fleets being stuck in combat has always irritated me. So once a fleet's in battle, it's stuck there. It can't retreat. It can't do anything. It's there until an arbitrary timer of something like 30 days or whatever counts down. Then the fleet can retreat from battle at the risk of losing some of your ships, and then the fleet being like stuck in limbo for a number of years. And that's always really bothered me because it doesn't make any sense at all. And it doesn't even make any sense within the context of the game, where so the retreat is supposed to be like a cooldown or a recharge for your hyperdrive engines, kind of like in Battlestar Galactica, where you make a jump and then they have to cool down for a while before you can jump again. So when a fleet enters battle, the cooldown starts, but it doesn't make any sense because you can jump into a system and immediately jump out if there's no combat, or you can jump into a system and be there for 10 years, just sitting there, ready to jump anywhere, and the moment you're in battle, all of a sudden, this countdown restarts. And that mechanic's always bothered me, because it doesn't make any sense, and it's very frustrating to not have any control over retreating your fleet until the arbitrary countdown's done. And that's been in the game, I think, since base. That and like the engagement ranges as well. So a fleet will get stuck in battle if it enters battle in any way, i.e. gets shot at or shoots at something. And so that means that like if you have a ship that has a really long-range gun, like a Titan with a giant spinal mount cannon on it that can shoot halfway across the star system, it's going to shoot at anything that gets within its huge gun range, and that immediately ties the fleet up into battle. Even if only one ship is shooting across the star system at someone else, now your fleet's locked up. And if you have two fleets and one of them's got a giant cannon and one of them doesn't, the fleet that's got the giant cannon is going to shoot their gun and get locked into combat, while the fleet with lesser range guns isn't going to be locked in combat and is free to move along. So if you've got some fleets that are traveling somewhere, and one of them decides to take a pot shot with their giant gun, now they're stuck in combat and have to go fight, and the other fleet might just continue on. And so you have to like micromanage your fleets if they have different ranged guns. You can't tell them to like stick together or engage targets together, and it can be really kind of irritating sometimes, where a fleet might engage something and go off to fight it and get crushed because its friendly support fleet didn't engage at the same time, and it might only be like 2 or 3 seconds of time that goes by, but that might be enough to get your fleet crushed. And if you're not there to micromanage it, and during late game you might have 10 or 12 fleets all fighting constantly all over the place, and if you miss one of those battles where one of your fleets gets engaged and its fleet that's traveling with it just continues on because they had lesser ranged weapons, that could really screw you up. So there's some irritating things like that as well. Or that's an irritating thing. I've been thinking about picking up Distant Worlds 2, although it very much appears to be half-baked, which is unfortunate. But I'm still very keen on supporting the devs, because I really like Distant Worlds 1, and I would like to see them finish 2. But, like, there's no option to say these two fleets travel together and engage together. The biggest weakness of Stellaris is AI, diplomacy, AI, and wars. Yeah, like the combat in the wars is really awful. I mean, there isn't really any combat. It's just two giant stacks of ships slammed together. You have no control. One of them wins. And that's kind of it. Like, even something basic like the way Sins of a Solar Empire does things would be nice. Like, there's still not a whole lot you can do in Sins, as far as like microing your fleet or anything like that, but it's 100% better than what we have in Stellaris, which is zero control. And like, I get it, you know, you're managing an empire, you're not the admiral, you're the supreme leader, but considering that Stellaris is basically just battles and combat all the time, because it doesn't really support any other gameplay much. Like, yeah, you can do a diplomacy run, kinda, sorta, but that's pretty limited. Most of your Stellaris games, you're just going to be fighting stuff all the time. And sometimes even if you're doing a diplomacy thing, you have no choice but to fight. Because like you can't diplomacy your way out of a hive mind that wants to eat everything in the galaxy. And to have so little mechanics involved in the fighting really sucks. That and their, not their latest DLC, but like the last one maybe, where they did all the espionage things, you can't see what the enemy ships are equipped with anymore. At least unless you own the DLC. And that takes even more player influence and control out of the combat, because now you can't adapt to what they have, which was a little bit of a mechanic that was kind of fun, where, okay, you encounter them in battle, and you see what they have on their ships. All right, they're using a bunch of shields, so I'm going to use kinetic weapons or whatever, so I can bust through those. But now you can't even do that, which is a big bummer. Actually, I need to cap this first. Cap it and then connect. Because I can't make an edge out of nowhere. Although there's probably a way to connect things without needing a face there. Nice. And attach. Oh no, not quite. Not quite ready yet. I need to attach this. Or we need to connect this and this. Yeah, that'll work. Will it? Come on. Why don't you connect? There we go. Like that. And then one here. What is that one? Alright, here's how we're going to do that. But now that got rid of that? Alright, we're just going to delete that. And we're going to insert a vertices here. Take that, and we're going to go here. And then we're just going to manually make that face like so. Nice. Then we're going to insert a vertices here and here. You there, and there. And then we're going to create a face here. Okay. Then we're ready to attach this to that. And weld all that together. And then wonder why that's doing that. Does it have a smoothing group on it? Probably. Let's get rid of that. Yeah, there we go. Nice. Yeah, and the diplomacy is kind of a finicky thing, too. Yeah, you can get them to follow other fleets, or fleet to follow another one around. But if one of those fleets gets engaged, the other one might not. Or it might take them a while. That and there's some other irritating things too. So like last night I was playing, and I had effectively defeated this nation. I had occupied every system, conquered every starbase, everything was mine. I just had to land troops on their planets to clean them up, which is a tedious process in the late game where there might be like 30 planets controlled by the AI, and you've got to go around and bombard each one and send your troops in and whatnot. But their fleets that I had defeated kept appearing out of thin air in systems that I had occupied and controlled the star bases of. And it was this irritating process of constantly having to go around and clean up these fleets that just keep appearing out of thin air. Because, you know, they were like lost in hyperspace or whatever. And inevitably they would appear in a system where my armies are conquering a planet and wipe out the troop ships and kill the starbase, and then immediately start spawning more units. Greetings. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know Frank Kopacki did the Grey Goose soundtrack. That's neat. I don't remember it from my limited Grey Goo playing experience. What can't he do? He is very, very talented, although I still think his best work was on Command & Conquer. Alright, here's what we're going to do with this. We're going to get rid of that side of it. And specifically Tiberian Sun, I think is his best work. That soundtrack is just... it's so good. It fits the setting of the game so perfectly. On top of being absolutely incredible. It's one of the reasons why that game is so good, is the soundtrack. Did he do Dune 2000 as well? Because that soundtrack is also very, very good. And very fitting to the game. Yeah, he did Dune 2000. Which I would rate up there either equal with or one step below the Tiberian Sun soundtrack. You know, neither of which I think I actually have in my stream music list. I have some Tiberian Sun mod music, but I don't actually have... Okay, I have Dune 2000, but I don't have Tiberian Sun music. Okay, let's see. What else? These are going to be asymmetrical parts. Let me start colorizing this stuff. As I spin the camera around in horrible ways. So you're going to be asymmetrical. You in your entirety? Minus the big things, okay. I think the rest of the ship is symmetrical. Okay. Not sure what these were aligned with. Or maybe they weren't. Excuse me. Oh no. Well, that's an issue. How did that happen? Okay, well, all these need to be remade. Not in their entirety, but some of them do. Because, that's certainly an issue. Okay, Unhide, hide, unselect. There we go. Yeah, this is a bit of an issue. What's the best way to fix this? Do one and then cap. Okay. That's not so bad. I have no idea how that happened. But that's what we're doing, is cleaning things up. I think the easiest option is just to select everything like need to be able to select without moving. And they're all completely crossed too. Then, to fix this, we'll do a connection there. And then we will cap. Yeah. And then, yeah, we'll fix this one and then just replace everything else with it. I was lucky enough to get a Tiberian Sun special edition back in the day, and it came with the soundtrack on CD. That soundtrack, I don't think, has ever left my car. Or that CD, rather. It is so good. Top 5 game soundtracks ever made, possibly. Okay, I want to see how this triangulates. And if I need to... Yeah, it's kind of Cancer. All right. Give me orthographic. Oh, shit. Oh, no, we're okay. So long as I missed the top ones, but as long as I don't select anything outside of each column of vertices, I can get away with. Okay, then we're going to grab this, make an object copy, put you here, make a copy of that. Set to the pivot so it's easy to work with. Put you down here. Luckily, I made all of these, I think, exactly the same. Yep. Why aren't you correctly? There we go. All right, then we go back to this one, and we say delete you and you and you and you and you. And then we say attach everybody here. Nice, okay. Much better. Okay, from here, what we're gonna do is take this, attach to this, align to this, excuse me, or rather, oh no, we have to do it that way, that's fine. Same with you. Already aligned that, I think. I think for the sake of easy texturing, I'm not gonna bother with just leave that way. I'm not gonna bother cutting off each one of these so they're precise. We'll just leave them all as with a little bit of overlap. Ooh. But I can't do that because then it'll bake the ambient occlusion in a way we don't want. So they do have to be separate on the UV. Unless we don't bake the ambient occlusion until... No, it'll have to be this way. Okay. Never mind. I was trying to be more efficient, but I don't think it'll work. It's pretty chilly. I'm gonna go turn on the heat. I will be right back. I've been talking to myself, to my muted microphone. Very good. It's like the most first world problem you can have. Wait, this one doesn't need to be here. Fuck. It's easy enough. There we go. This also doesn't serve a purpose, but that's okay. It serves a purpose here. This is aligned, right? Yes. It's best make sure now, find out later. Had that happen before. It's always the biggest pain. It's a long soundtrack. It's 2 hours long? Oh, it's 2.5 hours long. Wow. Oh no, it's 1 hour and 48 minutes. Brain. Uh... Here we go. This also has smoothing groups on it. 3DS tends to apply smoothing groups whenever you create an edge. It likes doing that. Alright, I think that's ready to be attached to that. Only 4, what? How many vertices are here? 2. Oh, it's not aligned. Why isn't that aligned? Oh, wait, what? Okay, cancel that. Oh, it made it all womper-jawed. Okay. Let's go back to that real quick. Why are you misbehaving? It would probably be better if I use symmetry on some of these parts. Just be faster. Not necessarily better, but faster. Alright. That's better, that's better. Why don't these connect? That's a problem. And this doesn't connect either. Okay. So what I'll do instead is go here. This bullshit to deal with. Let's see. Yeah. Allergies. They're coming. They're coming for me. I don't know why everything is misaligned here. Well, not everything. A few things are. Actually, it was pretty much just those. What about this stuff? It's all fine. Okay. I should start color coding things. Stuff that I've optimized and stuff that I haven't. Especially since I kind of bounce around. Like, there's no more optimization I can do on these that's worthwhile. So we'll make them like a pleasant blue color. Sort of bright. Less saturated, maybe. It's better. It's still bright. Excuse me. Maybe a nice pink? No. What is something that matters? Not at all. Okay, we'll make them that color. try to boolean these, perhaps, all together. Let's experiment, because these are going to be kind of a pain to knit together. So we'll attempt a little boolean action. I hate booleans in 3DS, but we'll give it a shot. Let's see if it wants to work for us. We'll start with a pro boolean and see how that works for us. Collapse that to a poly. Have a look at our mesh. Oh, you know, looks like it did its job, more or less. Then we can clean up the rest manually. It's fine. Get rid of the smooth groups. Yeah. Looks good. Saves us a ton of time. Do some triangulations. Just some basic stuff. Where I want it to not do other things, like I don't want it to make a triangle like here to here. Really, I should do a symmetry on this as well. Actually, no, we're gonna do that right now. First of all, actually, I need to put this pivot in the center, make sure it's there. Yeah, okay, good. And then just convert it to a poly, whatever. It's a destructive workflow, but it's fine. And get rid of half of that. Cool. Then I can go back to adding in vertices and not vertices, edges. It's probably loud as fuck. Probably can't hear anything I'm saying. Alright, that should work for us for the triangulation. The rest of the triangulation will be done via automatic. We just want a little bit of control over where and how. And then we're going to delete all the raw. Oh, symmetry these and attach them as well. Because he's gonna plug them in here. As well as this and that. Ooh, we're getting there, slowly but surely. And then we get rid of everything below. Nice. Excuse me. Do I want to connect that? Do I want to connect that? Maybe. It's a fair amount of texture space. I'll leave it unconnected for the moment, because it'd be kind of a pain to make that connection. Really what I should do is apply an editable poly operation on top of symmetry. Or go back into the previous one. This also needs symmetry. Then we'll mark these as whatever color blue that was. Nice, okay. These things here, I don't believe I'm gonna attach them. Maybe. In theory, they should be pretty easy to attach. They're just a couple of squares. Is it worthwhile? Probably not. Yeah, we won't bother about it. We'll just call them good. Likewise with these. And these. This stuff. Yeah, probably not worthwhile either. We can always come back. Okay, been avoiding doing the bottom because it's a big giant thing. Did I put enough guns on this? I think I did. Yeah, I think so. Do this tower stack here. Attach this to this and this. Oops. Part complete. It doesn't have symmetry on it yet, that's fine. Rice cracker, good. Okay, what we're gonna do here is yeah, okay. We're gonna make an inset like so. Ooh, so much like so. There. The fastest, cleanest way of doing that without adding additional polygons around. Do that. Go to U. Get rid of that. I don't know if we'll finish cleaning up this ship today. How much more do we have to do? A lot. All this bottom stuff. Well, some of it's not too bad. And then like the back end, this got a couple more hours. We'll see. We'll keep at it. Maybe we'll get it. We'll get it pretty close at least. Pretty close. I think we're gonna do an inset here as well, but we're gonna change it up a bit. You go here. You go here. You go there. You go there. And then you folks go here. The short one. Delete that. Then I want to connect with this and this. Not sure if I want to bother with making them nice. I could just do a Boolean subtraction. Make a copy, Boolean subtract. Should get my edge in there. That'll be the fastest way. Most efficient way. I'm not super concerned about it at the moment. Let's attach this to this and weld them real quick. Nice. And then we're going to get rid of these small groups as was. Yeah, it's a big old chunk. We'll work that in. Is it a symmetrical piece? Yes. Yeah. It just has asymmetrical parts. So to work that in, we will connect here. Needs to connect here. I rewatched Highlander last night. What an excellent movie. Always a blast. Especially since I myself am a Scot. Okay, let's then, I suppose, we're going to want to put an edge in and then, yeah. Okay. So I just need one like that. And then I need to put in vertices, so we're going to do vertices there, and there, and there, and there, there, and there. There we go. Align this to there, this to there, make sure this is aligned. Likewise with that. Where did those vertices go that I inserted? I'm very certain there were vertices there. Stop it. You go down to here. You go to here. You go to there. Go to there. Go to there. And we do the same thing, kind of, sort of, on this side. Actually, I could just pull up that. I don't know, it's kind of too late. It's never too late. This is fine. Connect. Why did that not connect? And likewise, why did that not connect? This is sus. Why is it not connecting there? Oh, that's because there's a bullshit here. Solve that by doing this. Technical terms, you know. Technical sounds. Here, insert vertexes. We need a vertex here, and we need one here, and here, and here, and here, and there. Okay, cool. Yeah. And then we get rid of all this stuff here. That was unnecessary. Vertices, that's fine. We'll remake that face. Here. Right. Okay. Then, in theory, we can attach this to this and grab that, weld. Perfect. Okay. I probably could have just booleaned that together, but try not to rely on the boolean tool because it just messes shit up all the time. Oh, this thing decided to work again. That's kind of a neat gun or thing. Anyway. Let me check and see. No. It hasn't gotten back to me yet. Yeah. A lot to do still. But we're getting there. This will get connected in. Let's do this one first. This will need a connection here, and then it'll get a connection like so. Did I already do this one? Did kind of, sort of. I need to do a little bit more though. I need a connection here, like so. I did. Okay. Then I need a thing here. So we're gonna do one here, like that. It's a bit of an issue. I mean, not really, it's just a thing that needs to be fixed. We're going to do that right now while I'm thinking about it. I believe it's just that piece there, yeah. One vertices is misaligned. That's better. Alright, in theory, this and this are ready to go together. This needed to have a connection, I think. Or does it? Okay, it does. Good. Alright. We're going to merge that and that. And weld that. Nice. Good. I'm not sure if I want these to be... Hopefully that's all aligned. We can fix it later if it isn't, but... Well, symmetry will fix it for us. It'll brute force alignment. It's not the best solution, but it is something that does work. I'm not sure if I want to integrate these or not just yet. We'll think about it, but... Or we'll hold off for now. basically we're saving texture space by doing this. As for example, we'll get to these pieces later, but like this whole underside here, these undersides, and likewise on this piece, the underside, or the top underneath these, word salad, sorry, can't be seen because it's, you know, underneath an object, and thus if it's part of our UV and texture, it's wasted texel density. So we want to, that's what we're doing essentially right now, is getting rid of as many unseen faces as is reasonable to save our texel density, or to get the most out of our textures. So for example, the energy drinks, they make the mind work faster, but they make the mind more confused. These faces here, never going to be seen because they're like touching another object. So if this was part of our texture, wasted pixels. Get rid of them, they won't be part of our texture. That's more pixels we can use for surfaces that can be seen. You take G Fuel, normal energy drinks, nope. I mean, I'm not a big drinker of energy drinks, and I certainly don't drink them for the energy. Every now and then, like on a blue moon, I'll drink a like a Monster, purely because I think it tastes good. I like the flavor, so I drink it much the same way as I would say drink a soda, a Coca-Cola or something. It does make me feel funny, and make me kind of hyper. It doesn't necessarily give me more energy though, which is unfortunate. It just kind of makes me jittery. But again, not really the reason why I drink them. I drink them for the flavor. But like, I haven't had energy drinks in like maybe 4 years, and then just recently, this last month, I've been having less than one a week. Some Mondays I'll have one. But yeah, they make me feel funny, and it's not necessarily a bad feeling, but it's not necessarily that comfortable either. And it's probably absolutely horrible for me, but I don't abuse them like many people do. So at least there's that. Because I know people, I'm friends with people who have like 3 or 4 of these things a day. And God, that's got to be so bad for you. I mean, this is filled with all kinds of horrible shit. Unnatural things. Just because you can. Shouldn't. 108% of your daily sugars. 21% of your carbohydrates. Yeah. 260% B2 and B3 and B6. 500% B12. Uh-huh. Let's see. Taurine. That's not something you eat a lot of in your normal natural... I mean, you get it in small quantities, but... Panax ginseng extract. Caffeine, of course. Sorbic acid. Glucuronone lactone. Yeah, that's good. Fridoxine hydrochloride. I guess that's vitamin B6. All kinds of interesting, strange things in here. Not recommended for children or people with a sensitivity to caffeine. Yeah, I wonder why. But, you know, in moderation, this stuff's probably okay. Like most things. It's people who overdo it. Like have 2 or 3 of these a day, who are going to have horrible effects from it. Or repercussions, rather. I'm really glad I found a forum at last where someone had a solution to my bleeding edge problem. That's going to help a lot. That's been one of the major annoyances for me recently. Now, if I can only figure out how to fix my UI so that I'm allowed to add things to it, that'll be another big fix. Because I need to finish the ship, because I need to be able to split it into pieces and have have the texel density match on those pieces, which, while I can eyeball it, is very much not a great solution. I would rather have my texel density tool tell me exactly where I'm at in terms of how my pieces are. I need to go here. Illegal new face. That's because this, and this presumably, and presumably that. Oh, most definitely. This. Oh, this here. It's my own fault. Okay. This attached to this. Weld. Nice. Okay. And then we'll attach this to that. Cool. It's a fair amount of texture space that's wasted. I might need to do something about that. These 3 would be the same. This one would be different. Although, I could do... Ooh, no, that's not going to work. These would have to be baked separately. That's a pain. I'll return in a minute. package arrived. Alright, we'll do an array on these for the moment. I don't have a quick drag box. Thank you. Oh, fuck, I'm gonna attach. Okay, it's so laggy. Stop it! Great. Fuck you, 3DS. And I can't go forward. Fucking fantastic. Okay. Okay, let's see how it is. Ooh, getting laggy. Where's that 3? One day when I remember to do it. That's where it is. It's in the one day I'll get around to making it. Here we are. We're getting kind of unresponsive, so I'm going to shut down 3DS and then restart it because that's what you do. Get rid of that. Oh my fucking god. Rice crackers. So good. I think we'll leave these parts unattached. That little tiny strip of textile density that we'd get out of this piece is not worth the effort. However, we will continue. These are certainly worth attaching to this at some point. These are asymmetrical too. Shit. Okay. It's fine. Which means we can't bake Which means this will be a asymmetrical piece as well. Unless I don't include them in the bake for that piece. Which we could do as well. But it'll be fine. So I could separate that face off. That's what we'll have to do. We'll have to separate the face. It's gonna bake all the AO. We might have to do some experimentations with our baking on this one because of our asymmetry. Because like it's gonna bake some AO shadow into here, but if this is a symmetrical piece, or if we have symmetry on it, then it'll bake the shadows into here. So we might have to leave this whole section here as a non-symmetried piece. Actually, that'll work. Actually, we're going to have to too, because we'll probably end up putting like banks of windows in here, glowing emissive windows. And that's not going to work so well, because if they were a symmetrical UV, we'd have like windows merging into the sides of these, which just wouldn't be a good look. So yeah, we'll leave this as its own separate UV island, and this as its own separate UV island. The front can be symmetried though. So with that in mind, at this point here, the back end can be fully symmetrical. We're also going to have to... Now, either we can have the top here be its own separate UV piece, its own separate UV island, not mirrored, not symmetrical. Or not with symmetry, rather, because if we had symmetry on it, then it would put like black chunks here for this, and like shadows, which we don't want. I don't know, would it be easier? It wouldn't look as good if we just had the asymmetrical objects as their own separate like thing that we add in later, so we don't bake the AO. And that way we don't have to worry about... Nah, it doesn't cost us that much to have a non-symmetry part. That's fine. No, it's good. We're good. Working through this in my head. So we're trying to be optimal whilst... But we're trying to balance being as optimized and efficient as we can, whilst also not trying to spend forever trying to do things. and have a more straightforward pipeline. It's a bit of a balance. Where can you cut corners, where can't you? Not sure what that was. There's an insect crawling along the top of my monitor, and it looks like an in between an ant and a spider. Very unusual. It's larger than the ants that we have here, but it's got the same kind of proportions and body as an ant, but it's got like spidery legs, and it walks like a spider, or moves like one. But I only see it from the side. It's back behind the monitor now. Strange creature. We don't really have a lot of spiders here. I think we only have 2 deadly spiders as well. We have the brown recluse and the black widow. The brown recluses are generally pretty rare. They're very reclusive. You generally find them in like stacks of wood, that kind of thing, outside in stacks of wood or in a shed, but it's pretty rare. And they aren't super aggressive either. Black widows are much more common. You'll find them in like basements. They also aren't particularly aggressive. They tend to flee and hide as opposed to come after. I will return again. I've returned. Yeah, mostly so. What was he ranting to me about? Let's see. Well, one of my bulbs on my lamp just went out. I don't know. It stopped working. It probably is fine. That bulb has been burning for 35 years. Let me see. Oh yeah, see? Just fine. It just needed to take a break for a moment. It's the fluorescent light that'll never stop. Okay, I'm going to have to wrap things up in about 10 minutes because the girlfriend's going to have one of her friends over at 4 when she gets back from work. So I'm best to go and straighten up the kitchen and the rest of the house. Doesn't need much, but probably a sweeping will do it good. It's amazing how much shit the floor will pick up in like a day. I mean, it's absolutely incredible. Especially right now, we have this big cherry tree out in the back. Actually, we have two of them. We have a small one, like, over there. And then we have a big one there. And they just finished their, like, blooming cycle last week. And now all the petals have fallen onto the ground, and it's like it snowed. Like the whole backyard is like this light pink color, petals everywhere, and they stick to the bottom of your shoes or feet like snow, and they'll stick to each other. So you can like walk out around the back deck or onto the yard, and so you'll step and you'll pick up a layer of these petals, and then you'll step again. And the petals won't fall off of your shoe. They'll stick to the petals on the ground, and then those will pull up. And you could just like just do a little circle, and you can come back, and there's a centimeter of petals on the bottom of your shoe. And you're like squishing around like you're walking on a blanket or something. The worst. So speaking of Black Widows, I've up until like a year ago, I'd only ever seen one Black Widow, and that was inconveniently in the door to the crawl space underneath my parents' house, like right up in the door frame, just inside the house, or just inside the crawl space underneath the house. But that'd been the only one I'd ever seen until I went to help one of my friends do some work on a house he just bought in Seattle. And down in the basement, it was like a workshop basement, fairly well kept. But there's all these like built-in like plywood cabinetry and stuff. But they were just offset off the wall a little bit. And behind all of them were like 5 or 6 Black Widows, like behind each of these cabinets. I don't know, there were maybe 30 or 40 of these things down in there. And that was horrifying. Because you go in there to move this shit out, because he wanted to get rid of all the previous owner's stuff and like rebuild the workshop to his own standards. And it's like you pull out this thing and there's, oh, here goes like 6 Black Widows, just, and you're like, dear God. Yeah, we bug bombed it pretty immediately after that revelation, but still, even with the bug bomb, the next day or whatever, there were still a presence of widows. And even if they're dead, it's still not a particularly pleasant experience. You're like, okay, I'm gonna wear gloves, and then I'm gonna like duct tape my sleeves to my gloves so there's no like little crawly spots, no entrances. And then I'm gonna like paranoid look at every corner constantly. Oof. All those Black Widows and no ghosts. Wow. I need to connect this and this piece. Okay, once I connect these two, I can kind of start connecting all this stuff. Yeah. Actually, I'm probably best to just do something like take this, and then hide everything else. Okay. And this is actually probably done fairly easily with an inset, I imagine. Something like so, and then we just adjust where these vertices are. Boop. Boop. Like this. Yeah. Yeah, not so bad here. And then we get rid of that stuff, and then we grab this one, and we get rid of this, if there's any of that left, which there was. Cool. And then we attach to here, and we weld that. That's a start. We still need to make a few adjustments here and there. But yeah, that's a start. Cool. I think we'll do all this upper section, everything on top, and then we'll work our way down and do all the bottom stuff. Okay. Neat. Made good progress-ish. I was hoping that I could do the optimization on this in one day, but it's going to take 2. There's a lot of interconnecting shapes and a lot of faces that need to be optimized on it, but got a good start on this. And I'll think about what I'm going to do with the station as well, and like how the different levels will work and what kind of details and things we're going to do with that. And then I still need to redo. I'm going to save redoing the frigates until last, I think. Since they're already like textured and ready to go, if we run out of time, they don't need to be redone because they're already good to go. as all I would be doing is just improving a finished thing instead of getting unfinished stuff done. So we'll do that. We'll save reworking the frigates till last. I was going to do them first, but it makes more sense to hold off on those. We'll get this heavy cruiser done. Then I'll probably think about designing some stations, seeing if I like the way this is going to turn out. Yeah, and then I'll see what my concept artist comes up with in terms of some more ships. He's pretty good. He does excellent work, so I'm sure whatever he comes up with will be excellent. Even if he just gives me a couple more ships, that's plenty that I can iterate off of to fill out the rest of the Onderonian fleet. The Royal Onderon Navy, or whatever it's called. Defense Force, maybe. Yeah. So that's our plan for this week, and probably next week. We'll just do Onderon until we've got a fully textured, ready to go fleet. And then I guess I could do like a ship pack for Stellaris. That might be fun. I know I have a couple of those for the Talarians and Temerians that I never finished. I need to talk to Walshius about getting that stuff done, because he put together some of those stuff for me and I just never got around to finishing them off. I had some questions and things, but yeah, and there's a couple more ships I need to do for those too, so they have everything needed for all the DLCs. Yeah, anyway, so we'll wrap it up here so I can go and dingo around in the kitchen for a while and get ready for guests. But yeah, so thanks for hanging out with us today, and we'll be back tomorrow. Thanks for the follows and the subs and the gift subs. I do appreciate it. It certainly helps keep the motivation to continue going, and allows us to do good work. And we'll return for more Onderon tomorrow at roughly the same time. So we'll hopefully see you then. And I need to press my buttons. All right. Have an enjoyable rest of your Monday evening. Off we go.